Good Saturday morning. I'm KHU meteorologist Chris Ramirez with your extended forecast for this morning. We are starting off with a little bit of fog in some locations, so definitely be on the lookout if you are heading to the rural areas. However, it's going to be another warm and humid day. Near record heat continues. Hazy and smoky skies will also continue. We're still dealing with some of that smoke from the agricultural fires burning down in Mexico and in Central America. And then we are expecting a pattern change for this upcoming week that could bring us some slight relief in these sweltering hot summer-like temperatures. So keep that in mind that we could get some relief in terms of some drier air, but it's not going to be a lot of relief. Just put it that way. But as we look at the currents right now, you're starting off with 80 degrees at Bush Airport, Galveston 81, Brenham 79, Tomball 80, Pearland 79. We're able to see some of that haze and fog currently over the downtown Houston skyline. So we are forecasting a high today of about 94 degrees. And so our record for today is 96. That was set back in 2018. It is going to be hot and humid, and we can expect those feels-like temps ranging between 100 to 101 degrees. And that's when you factor in all the humidity that we're expecting to see as we head into the afternoon hours. And usually the hottest times of the day between the hours of around 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. That's when we get to the warmest temperatures. So if you're planning any outdoor activities, you might want to just either do them in the early part of the day or just wait till after, maybe between 6 and 7 to do those outdoor activities, because it is going to be another scorcher for today as dew points and the atmospheric moisture levels are in the 70s. So dew points indicating that we are very humid out there, so we are expecting those feels-like temps to range between 103 to 104 in some locations, feeling as hot as 102 in Conroe, 99 in Liberty, 103 in Brenham, 105 in Columbus. And as we go into looking at tomorrow, it's going to be a similar day like tomorrow. We're not expecting any rain chance. We're just going to continue to deal with the humidity that's just going to make it feel more like summer, at least through the rest of our weekend. But highs today topping out at 95 here in Houston, up to 94 for Sunday. If you are looking for some cooler temperatures, might want to head towards the coast with highs in the low 80s. I know there's a lot of rules set in place going on out in Galveston, but just keep in mind that we are seeing some cooler conditions out there because we have the Gulf waters that are still a little bit on the cooler side because we are still in spring. Waters in the Gulf haven't had a chance to really warm up all that much, and that's really giving us some cooler temperatures along our coastal areas. So if you are heading out to Galveston, just keep in mind that there is going to be a high rip current risk for today. We could see some south winds between 10 and 5 miles an hour. I think we're seeing some rough conditions out on the water there, but looking at for today, just an important reminder, wear sunscreen, find some shade, take frequent breaks, stay hydrated for today, as well as wear light colored clothing, because when you wear those darker colors, that really does attract more sunlight in terms it actually heats you up. So you want to wear light colored clothing and practice those heat safety measures. Radar right now showing mostly clear conditions. We're just still dealing with a little bit of cloud cover across southeast Texas. There was a frontal boundary situated north of us over the Dallas-Fort Worth area, but we're still being influenced by this dome of high pressure that's currently over the Gulf, and this is going to continue to keep temps hot and humid at least through the rest of our weekend and into the start of next week. However, things are going to change as that high pressure system is going to start retreating back towards the south and east. So as we look at Sunday and Monday, we are expecting the arrival of a very weak cold front that will be in place for Tuesday. That is going to bring us some slightly cooler conditions. It's also going to bring some possible break from this humidity that we've been experiencing, but we could also see a few showers, maybe an isolated storm or two heading into Tuesday. So relief on the way, but not by much. It's going to be a Houston version of a cold front because we're going to go from only the upper 90s to maybe the low 90s, upper 80s for Wednesday and Thursday. So the relief somewhat, but not by far as we head into those afternoon hours in terms of those afternoon temperatures. So some slight relief on the way, and just keep in mind that we are expecting a rather warm outlook through May 23rd through May 27th, and that does include much of Texas. Our average high for this time of year usually around 84, 85, I think it's actually 87 degrees, and just keep in mind that we will see those temps be above average at least for the time being for the next 10 days. So future temps, rather hot and humid for Tuesday, but then going into Wednesday, that's when we're going to see that dip in those temps. We're going to go from 96 to 90 on Wednesday, and then those overnight lows still remaining in the 60s and 70s, but just keep in mind that the less humidity is just going to make it feel all the more comfortable outside going into the middle of this next week. So we are seeing those feels like temps right now already in the 70s and 80s, but just keep in mind that we are expecting those conditions to remain mostly a bit hot and humid and sweltering, at least through the rest of our weekend. As far as our drought report, the latest drought index was released this past Thursday. We've seen some improvements with it. We were abnormally dry along our coastal areas, but that rain that we received these past couple of weeks has retreated most of the dry conditions out towards the west. So we still need some rain to secure our spot and secure our good standing in the drought conditions, but just keep in mind that we are expecting mostly that the more increased drought to the west of town. I know hurricane season has not officially started yet, but the National Hurricane Center is now starting to issue their outlooks, their daily outlooks, and we in preparation for hurricane season. And the good news, no activity expected for the next 7 days. It's not uncommon for some storms to actually start flaring up ahead of hurricane season. And also, hurricane season is not too far away, only 15 days until June 1st. So make sure you have those necessary action plans ready as we head into hurricane season, because of course you all know we do get affected by hurricanes and tropical storms here in the Houston area. As far as your 7-day forecast, high temps expected to remain mostly warm and humid through Monday and Tuesday. We are expecting a 20% chance of maybe an isolated storm with that weak cold front, but like I said, lower humidity in place for Wednesday. We're still going to be maybe in the 90s. We might be about 89, 90 degrees, but we are expecting those conditions to remain mostly just warm and humid, at least for the next 7 days, with some of that slight relief on the way. So as we go into looking, if you're just now joining our live stream, we are expecting a high of about 94 for today. We're expecting a little bit more cloud cover than previously anticipated, and that cloud cover really does a good job at preventing those temperatures from reaching higher levels. And so that's what we're expecting to see today. Partly cloudy skies. We could get some peaks in sunshine. Highs today get up to 94. 96 is the record for today. I think we could maybe get up to 95 and threaten that record, but we're going to have to get up to 96 to get at or break that record. And I don't think we're going to get that hot for this afternoon. So hot and humid, feels like temps ranging between 100 to 101 degrees. When you factor in that humidity, that atmospheric moisture, that's just making it all the more worse outside. So take advantage of those cooler those cooler times of the day, first half of the day and the latter half of our day. Sun will be setting around 8:04, maybe to 8:09, maybe 8:10 is when we're expecting to see that sunset. So you at least have more time to enjoy more daylight, especially as those temps will start cooling off. So weekend forecast, high of about 94 degrees, 95 for Sunday and Monday, but we're looking at today. The cooler temperatures will be in place along our coastal areas, so be extremely cautious if you are heading out to Galveston. There is a high rip current risk in place, and we are expecting those conditions to remain mostly a bit on the more humid side for today and tomorrow. We're also dealing with that smog, that smoke from down south, for the agricultural burning season currently taking place out in Mexico and Central America. So as you look at smoke futurecast, we're seeing those hazy skies for much of Texas as those southerly winds are blowing that our way. As we go into Sunday and into Monday, we could get some relief from that smoke heading into Tuesday, but that's why we see the smoggy and the hazy skies out there as we are looking at those upper level winds. Those winds are blowing in from Mexico, and that is actually moving in towards Texas and across the U.S. So drought report, like I said, we do need some rain to secure our spot in terms of good standing. We're not expecting much rain, at least for the next few days. Maybe on Tuesday we could get some slight relief of that, but we are expecting hurricane season to be just around the corner, 15 days into hurricane season. So for a 7-day forecast, just to recap everything and kind of just sum it all up into one. Highs in the 90s, records likely not broken for today and tomorrow, but we do have some relief on the way for Tuesday with the arrival of a weak cold front that will bring us some lower humidity as well as Houston version of a cold front. We're going to go from 96 to 90 degrees. Unfortunately, that's the cold front for Houston during this time of year as we get closer towards the months of June. And as always, we are tracking the latest weather forecast on KHOU.com and on the KHOU 11 app. And we are also continuing to give you these extended forecasts, going more in depth with our forecast and what we're expected to see. And you can also access that on KHOU 11 Plus. Of course, have a great rest of your day and a safe weekend.